My name is Mike, and this is the hot seat. On the hot seat today, just hours ago, George Zimmerman was granted a release on bond for $150,000, which means that George has to come up with $15K. Now, George Zimmerman is under condition status of lawyer pro bono. For George to keep that status, he must not raise the money on his own. It is estimated that without a pro bono attorney, it would cost George Zimmerman between $250,000 and $500,000 to defend himself. And there was talk this morning that maybe if he lost his indigent status, that he would plead down because he couldn't afford a defense. Which, folks, that's very troubling to me. That if you don't have $500,000 lying around, you have to plead out because you can't afford to defend yourself. The only time a defendant should take a plea bargain is if he's guilty. If George Zimmerman felt that he was guilty and he pleaded down, that's fine. But to have to, because you can't afford a good defense, that's very troubling to me. Also today, George Zimmerman testified on his own behalf, and quite honestly, I think that could be very damaging. George went on to say, after he apologized to the parents, that he didn't realize that Trayvon was as young as he was, and he didn't realize that he was unarmed. The prosecution, if they play it right, can have a field day with that testimony. And I can't believe that George's attorney didn't rehearse him and be clear on what he should say and what he should not say. This could be very damning, especially if George takes the stand again during his trial. Because how are you going to explain away that you didn't realize he was as young as he was and you didn't realize he was unarmed? That could really be attacked. And that could be a huge problem for the George Zimmerman defense. So we will have to see how this develops. I urge all of you people, I know sometimes you leave comments here, but I prefer more interaction. On Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, I do a radio show on blogtalkradio.com/The Hot Seat, and I welcome your phone calls. You could also hear me on podcast. I will include the links in the description field. And again, we'll have to see how this plays out. Oh, and by the way, before I leave, I'd just like to give a little shot to our left-wing, tree-hugging liberals out there. More evidence shows that man-made global warming is a farce. Glaciers around the world are actually growing. And you would think that if the world was warming, you would think they would melt down instead of building up. So again, I think global warming's full of crap. Al Gore was a liar. He made a lot of money. Many people drank the Kool-Aid and got suckered. And it's time we all wake up to the BS. My name is Mike, and this is The Hot Seat.